I've been listening exclusively Cashing In, and that's such a comfort show for me, which is weird because it's a podcast, but it's just so good. I'm listening to the ones that I didn't listen to a lot. Like I started in 2017, but I've only listened to those ones up until now, like probably once, because I listened to them when they first came out, and then that was it. But I've listened to old ones like literally 5 times, probably more. It's also like an education, in my opinion, of comedy, because it's a comedy podcast, but it's also conversational, and I kind of take note of the comedy beats that happen, and like, oh, that's a good angle, and oh, that's a good rhythm, and stuff like that. And like TJ does a lot of great wordplay, which is hard to do. You kind of just need to practice and have a good vocabulary, and I feel like I have a good vocabulary and I can do that stuff, but on the fly like that is so impressive that he just has like a catalog, like car types, and then, you know, caterpillar attributes, and then he does like see, I can't even do it, like a Tahoe. I would have to write it, like it takes me like 5 minutes to come up with something like that, like a Tahoe centipede. I don't know, that's really bad, but and it's out of context because there's no context for it, but I just try to think of something. This was like my big crying phase, as you'll recall. The blue period, as Cashing In would deem it. So something in Cashing In, I think about this all the time, and they have like different segments in Cashing In, and one of the segments is, you know, where were you, where they talk about where they were, or they have a one called What Hurts. You know, they talk about what hurts on them, which I kind of did. I didn't even realize. Like, I was like, oh yeah, softball. So that was What Hurts and Where Were You in the same one. So that's funny. What else do they have? Tickling the Oracle. I don't even really know what that one is. One is Tiny Opinions, where they have very strong opinions about minuscule things. And so stuff like that. So one of them is Practical Living in the Modern Age. So that's like practical advice for people living now. And so I have one for you guys right now. So when you go to pick up food, this was more prevalent during the pandemic, and I wish I told you guys then, and I thought about it all the time. I was like, oh, I should do this on my podcast, or I should at least send it in to Cashing In for them to talk about it. So when you pick up food, because there was takeout all the time during the pandemic, so when you go to pick up food, be like, hey, I did an online order, or I called in, and I might be a little early, so no rush. You know, that's a great thing, because they're always like, oh yeah, what's your name again? Okay, yeah, well, we're working on that. So even if you're not even a little bit early, if you're like on time, just be like, I'm a little bit early, so no rush, but my name's Tommy, it's an online order. And you know, it gives them time to relax, be like, oh, thank you, sir, like, we'll get it as soon as possible, because you're not going to make them do it faster by being mean. Like, you'll just get wet food because people spit in it.